Good evening and welcome to our fifth concert of the 2014 season. Just a reminder, the St. Genevieve Stompers are selling popcorn for $1, water for $1, chocolate-covered Oreos 2 for $1, and pralines 2 for $1.50. Part of the proceeds will go to the local food pantry. Our first piece is Variation Overture by Clifton Williams. According to music publishing website J.W. Pepper, in addition to being an outstanding piece of music, this piece is important in that it vividly demonstrates that substantial work can be written within the technical and intellectual capabilities of younger musicians. Variation Overture is dedicated to the American School Band Directors Association. The Variation Overture is a serious effort on the part of the writer to utilize mature techniques of composition within a simple framework. The theme with its contrasting idea is treated in 4 varied ways, resulting in a piece cast in the form of a concert overture and made cohesive by the use of the variation principle. The actual writing of this work was at the American School Band Directors Association convention in Cleveland, Ohio, December 1961. Please enjoy this piece, Variation Overture. next, we have Georgia on My Mind, a song which was written by Hoagie Carmichael in 1930. In Carmichael's autobiography, he writes the origin of the song. A friend, saxophonist, and bandleader, Frankie Trumbauer, suggested, "Why don't you write a song called Georgia?" Nobody lost much in writing about the South. While the song is almost universally believed to have been written about the state of Georgia, the lyrics, written by Stuart Gorrell, are ambiguous enough to refer to either the state or a woman named Georgia. The song has been popular since its recording in 1930, and in 2003, Rolling Stone magazine named Georgia on My Mind the 44th greatest song of all time. Please enjoy this piece, Georgia on My Mind. Next piece, The Clarinet Polka, is a Polish folk song arranged by Henry W. Davis, featuring, of course, the clarinet. It is a popular musical composition from the end of the 19th century, which has been used as an opener in popular Polish radio shows since 1971. The piece has a simple and catchy melody, featuring a prominent extended eighth note arpeggio, typically performed in B-flat major. According to Polski Radio Program 1, the music was created in Austria by a composer named A. Humpfat. Please enjoy Henry Davis's rendition of Clarinet Polka, and don't forget to listen to the clarinet riff. English Folk Song Suite by British composer Ralph Vaughan Williams. He has been credited with establishing a new nationalist style based on English folk traditions. He systematically rejected foreign romantic influences and sought inspiration from native material, including Elizabethan and Jacobean music, as well as English folk songs. He began collecting traditional folk songs from the counties of Somerset and Norfolk in 1902 and ultimately collected more than 800. Adapting their modal harmonies and striking rhythms, he created an entirely individual style. This suite, written in the early 1920s, blends his own ideas with well-known folk songs. As you listen, you can picture the English countryside with its green rolling hills, beautiful fields of heather, and quaint cottages. Here is the first movement from English Folk Song Suite. This next piece, At a Dixieland Jazz Funeral, depicts a traditional Dixieland funeral in Old New Orleans. It opens with a slow, mournful processional based on the hymn, Just a Closer Walk with Thee. This solemn funeral march transitions into an up-tempo celebration of life with When the Saints Go Marching In. Arranger Jared Spears, Professor of Music Emeritus at Arkansas State University, has taught music theory, history, composition, percussion, and band on all educational levels from elementary through college. He has also served as artistic advisor for the St. Louis Wind Symphony. His compositions number over 250 original works for band, choir, orchestra, and chamber ensembles, performed and recorded worldwide. Spears has guest conducted band festivals, camps, and clinics throughout Canada, Europe, and the United States, and has appeared as a guest lecturer at several universities. Please enjoy At a Dixie Jazzland Funeral. Next is Bubbling Woodwinds, a piece which features, you guessed it, the woodwinds. But before we hear this piece, let's have a quick lesson in Band 101. A woodwind instrument is a musical instrument that produces sound when the player blows air against a sharp edge or through a reed, causing the air within its resonator, usually a column of air, to vibrate. Most of these instruments are made of wood, but can be made of other materials, such as metals or plastics. Woodwinds, would you please hold up your instruments? Woodwinds? We have a lot. As you can see, the members of the woodwind family are clarinets, flutes, saxophones, bassoons, and oboes. Be sure to listen for these instruments as we hear this next piece, Bubbling Woodwinds. Our next piece is a medley of songs from the DreamWorks movie, How to Train Your Dragon, which was released in March of 2010. It was based on the book by Cressida Cowell. The movie is set in the mythical world of burly Vikings and wild dragons. This action comedy tells the story of Hiccup, a Viking teenager who doesn't exactly fit in with his tribe's long-standing tradition of heroic dragon slayers. Hiccup's world is turned upside down when he encounters a dragon that challenges his Viking views. Some fun facts about the movie you probably didn't know. The sounds, actions, and personality of the dragon Toothless was inspired by cats, dogs, and horses. For some of the tail-waving scenes, the animator actually stuck a ball of duct tape to his cat's tail as a reference for the motion. The animators had to go through flight school classes, such as flight physics and movements of different creatures in flight for realism. After graduation, they each received a diploma. The smaller dragons, known as the Terrible Terrors, were based on a Chihuahua named Paco from Oregon, who was paid $100 for his voice work. The composer, John Powell, was nominated for an Academy Award on his score for this movie. Romantic Flight was actually played during the Oscars during Jamie Foxx and Jessica Biel's introduction to present the Best Original Score category. Please enjoy this arrangement of How to Train Your Dragon by arranger Sean O'Lowlin. Neil Diamond has been a dominant force in popular music. He is considered to be the third most successful adult contemporary artist ever on the Billboard chart, behind Barbra Streisand and Elton John. Diamond was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 1984 and into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2011. Tonight we'll hear a powerful medley of some of his best-known hits as arranged by Ted Ricketts. This arrangement includes bits from Diamond's hits America, Sweet Caroline, You Don't Bring Me Flowers, Cherry Cherry, and I'm a Believer. Sing along to this fun medley, pop and rock legends Neil Diamond. The Typewriter, a Pops concert staple composed in 1950, actually features a manual typewriter on the stage with the orchestra. In 1970 interview, Anderson described how he made the typing sound a part of the music, not just an added effect. "We have two drummers," Anderson said. "A lot of people think we use stenographers, but they couldn't do it because they couldn't make their fingers move fast enough. So we have drummers because they can get wrist action." Leonard Slatekin, conductor of the new Anderson CDs, has played a few typewriters himself on the concert stage and says it's hard. You have to tamp down all the middle keys so only the two outside ones work. You also have to start with your right hand in order to be able to hit the carriage return where Anderson specifies. The typewriter is used as a theme for numerous radio programs and some television shows. I hope you enjoyed this fun and interesting Anderson piece, The Typewriter. Moonlight Serenade is a popular American song with original music by Glenn Miller and subsequent lyrics by Mitchell Parrish. The song was a top 10 hit on the U.S. pop charts in 1939, reaching number 3 on the Billboard charts, where it stayed for 15 weeks. It was the number 5 top pop hit of 1939 in the Billboard year-end tally. In 1991, the recording of Moonlight Serenade by Glenn Miller and his orchestra was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. The most striking part of the piece was its use of clarinet-led saxophone sections, which is widely considered the classic Glenn Miller style. The song is a prime example of the American big band sound from the mid-20th century. Please enjoy Miller's signature theme, Moonlight Serenade. Stravinsky composed The Firebird between November 1909 and May 1910. The ballet was performed on June 25, 1910 by Sergei Diaghilev, Russian Ballet. Stravinsky had the fortune of befriending Claude Debussy, who attended his premiere of The Firebird. He recalled, "The great composer spoke kindly about the music, ending his words with an invitation to dine with him. Some years later, when we were sitting together in his box at a performance of Peleus, I asked him what he really thought of The Firebird. He said, 'Well, you had to start with something.' Honest, but not extremely flattering. Yet shortly after The Firebird premiere, he gave me his well-known photo with a dedication, Igor Stravinsky, in any artistic sympathy. I was not so honest about the work we were hearing then. Here's a brief synopsis of the ballet. The Firebird, a good fairy, is against the ogre Kashchi, whose soul is preserved as an egg in a casket. A young prince, Ivan Chervich, wanders into Kashki's magic garden in pursuit of the Firebird. When he captures her, she pleads for her release and gives him one of her feathers, whose magic will protect him from harm. He then meets 13 princesses, all under Kashchi's spell, and falls in love with one of them. When he tries to follow them into the magic garden, a great alarm sounds and he is captured. Kashchi is about to turn Ivan to stone when the prince waves the feather and the Firebird appears. Her lullaby puts Kashchi to sleep, and then she reveals the secret of his immortality. Ivan opens the casket and smashes the egg, killing Kashchi. The captive princesses are freed, and Ivan and his beloved princess are betrothed. You will now hear the last of 12 numbers of the suite, the finale from the Firebird suite. Promised, we have a Sousa March for all of you fanatics out there. Our next piece is the Washington Post, which Sousa wrote in 1889. Since then, it has remained one of his most popular marches throughout the U.S. and many countries abroad. In 1889, owners of the Washington Post newspaper requested that Sousa, the leader of the United States Marine Corps Band, compose a march for the newspaper's essay contest awards ceremony. Sousa obliged. The Washington Post March was introduced at the ceremony on June 15, 1889, and it became quite popular. It led a British journalist dubbing Sousa the March King. Sousa is honored in the Washington Post building for his contribution to the newspaper and his country. I hope you enjoy the Sousa March, the Washington Post, which will be conducted by our guest conductor, Dr. Mark Gilligan. Please come forward. Dr. Gilligan is preparing to begin his third year as principal of Valley Catholic High School and grade school. Prior to working for Valley, he worked for Ursuline Academy in St. Louis for 13 years as teacher and assistant principal. Dr. Gilligan began teaching at Queen of All Saints Elementary School in Oakville, Missouri. Please enjoy his guest conducting. Thank you all for coming out to support and enjoy the Municipal Band. I truly hope you liked tonight's performance. I'd like to thank Channel 798 for recording tonight's performance and Jim Donzie and his setup crew. Thank you Valley Schools for letting us use this facility, and thank you Dr. Gilligan for guest conducting. And I'd like to invite you all to join us next week for our 4th of July concert. Drive safe and have a good night.
Channels 7 and 98 TV and web broadcasting are made possible through contributions and donations from viewers like you. Thank you for your support.